Hi, in this video we're going to talk about the home screen. The home screen is the screen you're seeing right now. It's the first screen that gets displayed when you launch the app, and it shows user HTML. So user customized. The user has control, and basically you can edit from here, edit, and you can add text, you can add images, audio. There's other videos that go into detail, but this is for the last two buttons here. This one is for links, so you can have links, and this one is for inserting, embedding HTML. And again, the HTML, audio, video, images, things like that. All right, so let's start here from the user. We have some of the user functions like logging in. Right now we're logged in. So it says log out. If we were not logged in, it would say register and log in. Delete account is basically, it's a requirement from Apple, the ability to remove your account, and that removes everything, including images, and there's no guarantee we can get it back. So once you delete the account, everything's gone. Reset password or forgot password. Basically, we use the email that you gave us when you registered to send you a link, so to reset the password. So that email information is important in this case. User details just gives information about the user. Then settings, just some things we'll be adding more. But these are, things like you want to show the distance unit in miles or kilometers, whether you're in edit mode or not. This is the round time travel, the travel time round to, which is when we calculate a schedule and we calculate the travel time, instead of having numbers down to the 1, 2, 3s. We can round to 0. 0 basically means don't add travel time. And that's important in some schedules where you've already calculated it in, but then the other ones are surrounding. And then 30 is the default duration in minutes for events, for places. So if you enter a place like a museum, you may want to put 120 minutes, 180 minutes, whatever amount of time you think it takes to visit. All right, settings. Content font zoom. This is basically a way to enlarge the font to make it more readable. Of course, it takes up more space. 120 is what we default to. And then upload images. There's a separate video for that, but it's basically how to upload images to the cloud to be used for in the guide. The guide menu, refresh guide basically reloads the same guide. Now this will get rid of any changes you've made, and sometimes that's what you want to do. Maybe you've made some changes that you're not happy with, and you don't want to have to manually undo them. We don't have an undo button, so this is a way to undo, but you should do saves periodically in order to save your data, your changes. Travel Wizard is a way to use, we use artificial intelligence to answer common travel related questions. So for example, when is the best time to visit? Here I can, these are just common questions that people may be interested in knowing the answers to while they're traveling. And create journal from photos. That's you go on a trip, you take a lot of pictures, and you have you need to have location turned on your phone when you take the pictures, and then we can you can upload the pictures. We retain the location and date information, and from that we can recreate or auto create a journal. Basically what that means is there's a schedule, a guide, and then it shows on the map where you've been, where the images were taken, where the photos were taken. And in addition to that, if you have an app there's plenty of apps on phones that will also track your location. We don't store that information, but there are apps that do that, and then you can export that information to a KML file and then import that information, and you can actually show not only where you took the pictures, but also the path that you walked or traveled. Rating the guide is here. Guide info just has information about the guide, the language, the name, description, and so forth. Now this is WhatsApp. So if you once you have a guide or a travel journal, more likely, so you come back from a trip, you created a travel journal, you want to share it with your friends, so you can WhatsApp them the link or email them the link, or you can just take the link and send it in any other way manually. Launch in web app. We have a web version of this app, and this will on a mobile device it'll launch the web version, and that shows you actually what your friends will see when you send them a link, because it automatically defaults to the web app. They could see it on a mobile app if they want to. And guide settings, different things about the guide. Okay. If you press custom, then you can customize the way the guide behaves if you don't like the default way of doing it. Then the edit on content. We have another video that shows basically it edits the HTML content on this home screen. Chapters and sections. We use the book semaphore. So this is a way of adding additional web content separated into sections and then with under folders called chapters. So for example, you could create a page that has information about restaurants or whatever, and you can link to that via HTML links. You can so the guide has the concept of groups and categories, which is a way to categorize the places, and then that's useful for filtering based on that information. So you can create new groups, new categories, or edit them. Now the next four, favorites, visited, must see, and hidden, that's also settable in the place menu. In fact, these four from here may go away just to declutter, make this menu a little shorter. And basically they set whether the place is a favorite, whether you visited or not, whether it's a must-see. And hidden is a way to declutter so that if it's hidden, it doesn't show it by default, but you can show it if you explicitly call out that place. And then the guide info has, this is where actually it's important, this is where you set the name, the description, the image, the language, the countries, the cities, and also the accessibility. Right now this one, the users cannot see this one, but you can either share it with everybody or as read, copy, or modify, or share it just with a few people. And okay, that's that one. Then the file, we can save the guide to the cloud. Remember, any changes you make are only on the phone until you save them to the cloud. You can also save the guide to the device. So this is useful if you don't have Wi-Fi, for example. You can still work on your guide or journal, and by saving it and reading it from the device, and then later on when you do have Wi-Fi, you can save it to the cloud. You should always keep a version on the cloud. If you do delete the cloud version, you may have to do something like create one and then override it in order to get that device version up to the cloud again, because it relies on information that we don't want people to recreate and maybe impersonate other people. The new guide is how you create a new guide. Copy guide, if a guide is copyable, if somebody is given the copy permission, you can copy the guide and then modify it, create your own, or modify what's already there. Override guide is a crude way of doing collaboration. So, for example, you can provide somebody else with modify permissions, and then you take turns modifying the guide. Now, if you both modify at the same time, you're going to overwrite each other's changes, so you do need to coordinate. If somebody, you can open a guide using an ID, and then you can import places. So, for example, if you have places from, let's say, Google My Maps, you can search for, create places, add them to the map, and then you can export that to KML, and then you can import them into this app. And info is about, I guess this is where we show the version and some information about the app. Help videos. This is where you'll find help videos. Some of them may not be up to date but we try to update them as fast as we can. When we add new features, the UI may not look exactly the same, but hopefully it's close enough. Facts, help, guidelines is just some simple rules we want people to adhere to make sure that we all play nicely and respectful in terms of the guides that we create and what we share. The website is the website for the app, which is different from the web version of the app. So there's a website, just has general information. Then there's the web app, which is similar functionality as the mobile app, but you can view it on a larger screen, and which has advantages. We can show more data, and so it can be easier to use in some ways. And contact us if you have any questions, issues. This is how you do it. And just to finish up here on the bottom, the bottom part is on most pages. It's just a way to switch between the different screens. The orange shows you which screen you're on, so we're on the home screen. Guides is where you go and search and download guides. Places where you can look at the places, the map, the schedule, and tickets. As you know, this app is free, but we do encourage people to purchase from our sponsors. These are some some companies that you would normally buy from anyways, but if you buy them through us, it helps us to keep our app free and ad-free, and you only can go here when you specifically click on the tickets screen. Thank you.